Are we live? Is there anybody out there? I hope I did this right. I've never done one of these before. So if somebody's there, let us know before I start going off into our introduction here of children's virtual theater classes. Am I on? All right, well, oh, good, somebody is there. All right, so I'm not talking to myself, which is what I'm really doing anyway, since you can't really talk back to me, just you can leave messages here. We've got one person who's joined, kind of hoping for a few more before we get started here. Hi, Libby, how are you? Thanks for being the first one to join us here. Well, I can see them, and they pop up pretty well. All right, well, let's get going here, so I can stay within my time frame that I have. Hi, I'm Tom Beck, and my wife Susie is on the other side of this laptop, getting ready to make her presentation toward the end here. We are Performing Arts Student Theater Academy. Sorry, I was just looking at something that somebody posted there. I didn't forget who I am or what we are. So we, hi Grace, thanks for joining. We decided that we were going to give doing some virtual children's theater classes a shot here, basically because we miss everybody. One of the things, if you've taken classes with us before, welcome back, and if you're new to PASTA, welcome. We're glad that you're here. One of the things that we've always told our participants in our classes is that PASTA is like family, and we miss our family. We got this really great picture from one of our cast members from our production of Fantastic Mr. Fox. And it says, I love the Fantastic Mr. Fox play. The cast is like family. And the saying of PASTA is like family goes back to 2016 when we were doing a production of Into the Woods. And our witch, Katie, right here. We were being interviewed by a reporter from the Lake Forest Leader, and the question was, how do you feel about PASTA? How does PASTA make you feel? And Katie answered the question, and she says that PASTA feels like family to her, that everybody works together for a common goal, to put on the best possible play that they can. So we're like family, and we're glad to be here. This is all new to us. We were a little nervous about getting this live broadcast set up and how we're going to go about doing that, much less trying to get organized to do online theater classes. But there is a saying that we always tell all of our participants, whether it's before auditions or whether it's while we're in rehearsal, or especially before a performance in front of the audience. It's two words that we use. Grace, if you're still there, do you know what those two words are that I'm referring to? I'll give you that 20-second delay there. Or if anybody who's out there knows what the two words are, would like to respond before I put it up here. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. No fear, no fear. know what you're doing and be brave and no fear. So that's what Susie and I have to do here. We have to take our own advice and have a little no fear as we venture out into this brave new world of performance theater classes. How's it going to be different from what we normally do? Well, we sort of miss being at the Gorton Center and uh, seeing everybody face to face and doing all of the activities that we normally do. There's some that we can do and there's some that we can't do. Um, some of the things that we do right in the beginning, of course, are theater games. And there's some theater games that we love doing, but we can't. Like the mirror game. I could do the mirror game with you now, and I could have you say that, if I raise my right hand, you raise your left hand. I raise my left hand, you do your right hand, and we would. But I couldn't tell if you're doing it or not because I don't see you. So doing the mirror game doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's a great warm-up that we like to do, especially before a performance, to kind of get the energy going, and that's zip, zap, zop. But I could start it and go zip and pass it on, but there's nobody to pass it on to really, so it wouldn't come back. So that's kind of something else that we can't do. And of course, my favorite thing to do of all the theater games that we play is Simon Says. And I love doing Simon Says, and you know how I love to be the last person standing when we play Simon Says, that Simon likes to defeat everybody in the game. And so we could try Simon Says, and I could say, Simon Says, put your hands on your shoulders. Simon Says, grab your ears. Simon Says, clap your hands. Clap your hands twice. But I don't see you, so you could have done none of that, and I wouldn't have been able to say that you're out. So Simon Says doesn't work. But there is something that we can do in a virtual setting, and that's that we can do a lot of pantomime. So I'm gonna do a pantomime here, and if you can figure out what I'm doing, please respond. Okay, so here we go. And of course, everybody knows, they should know, that the one key part of pantomime is that you don't talk. You make no sounds. You do it all with your face, and you do it all with your body. You do it all with your hands. So here's my pantomime. Let's see if you can figure out what I'm doing. So, did you figure out what I was doing? Yeah, I was eating a banana. I peeled the banana and ate it, and then at the end there I threw it away, and then somebody came walking along and slipped and fell on the banana. I hope they're okay. So there are some things that we can do. There are some things that we can do as far as doing theater classes online. Um, when we do our classes and we're getting ready to move on to the performance part of it, the first thing that we would do would be auditions. And the idea of auditioning can be done online. It would require us to send you uh, the audition sides for you to pick, and then when we would have one of our classes, you could just be in front of your laptop and joining us and doing your audition. And of course, we always do the example of a good audition and a bad audition. And so if my audition piece um, I was going to do Stuart Little from Stuart Little, and I was reading the audition piece, I would want to have it down here in front of me so I could glance down at it and then look at the camera, because now the camera is going to be your audience. Uh, uh, this would be a terrible audition because we couldn't see your face, so we could hear what you were saying, but we couldn't see the expression on your face because you have the paper in front of you. So auditions are possible. And we would like to make that part of our online theater class experience. Rehearsal would be, again, in front of your laptop with the camera going, and it would be a lot simpler than what we normally do. When we rehearse at the Gorton Center, we have the room and we talk about stage right, stage left, upstage, downstage, center stage, and we have our blocks and our benches and our chairs for us to use, and we're not going to be able to do that with this format. So basically you would just be sitting in front of your laptop, and when we rehearse, it's going to be more of the expression of on your face and how you read your character. So rehearsals can be done, but they're going to be a lot shorter. Instead of the normal 10, 11, 12, sometimes 13, 14-week classes that we have, they're going to be 3-week classes, so that they're going to be a lot shorter and simpler to put together. We would then do a performance at the end, and again, the performance would just be in front of the camera, in front of your laptop. Not necessarily worrying about costumes, not necessarily worrying about props, but just our reader's theater interpretation of the script. And so since our classes would only be 3, that means that our plays scripts are going to be a lot shorter than they normally are. Most of the time we try to keep, like when we do our younger classes for a 6-year-old to 10-year-old, we have a script that's under 30 pages. For the older kids, between 8 and 14, it can be anywhere between 30 to 35, 36, maybe 40 pages. But that's with a class that would go 8, 10, 12, 14 weeks. So as an example here, this is one of the plays that we have found. It's from an online organization, what was it called? And they're free for us to use. We just would have to acknowledge the author in our performances. But this particular script is only, I believe, 10 pages long, 11 pages long. Hang on, I have to put on my cheaters because I can't see anymore. Well, actually, this is 18 pages long, surprisingly enough.
That doesn't include the beginning stuff with the...
Right, so it's probably... Yeah, so it's probably about 15 pages long with 10 characters. So we would have a limited number of people who could join a class if we were doing Rapunzel, and we've got a lot of these type of plays that we can do. And we would do, our first class would be auditioning, discussing the characters. Our second class would be our rehearsal, and our third class would be our performance. So we would work on voice, we would work on acting interpretation, things that a lot of the times you're used to doing, but in a slower build format. And so we talk about, like, acting is communication, and you would be communicating the script on a virtual stage, where, dealing with the ideas of, with the character that you play, what is your character thinking? What's the thought process that you would put into it? How is your character feeling? What emotions would you put into it? What do the words mean that the character is saying? And then there's always this moment in time approach to it, where do you have a time in your life where you can relate to what this character is going through, and how could you bring that time in your life and how you felt then into the role that you're doing. So one of the kind of scary aspects of doing this, which is where I have to keep reminding myself about no fear, is that we would be using the Zoom platform through the Gorton Center site. And those of you that have done classes before know Rich Torres. Rich is our lights and sound guys, helps with the microphones and everything. Rich would be, is more than willing to help us with this so that we can make this a successful experience for everyone. And so that would be multiple screens, and that'll be something that we'll talk about next Thursday when we kind of get a little bit more into depth about what we're going to do for classes and how we're going to do the classes. So I think I've covered the basics here. It's just sort of a compacted version of what we normally do when we can be together, but since we can't be together, we're just going to make the process just a little more streamlined and it's a little simpler, a little easier to get through. And it's going to be a lot of fun, right? Like I said, we miss being at Gorton, we miss being down there with you, we miss doing these shows, and we really are anxiously awaiting the opportunity when we get the all clear and we don't have to keep 6 feet apart with social distancing, and we can get back to doing some wonderful children's theater at the Gorton Center. One of the things that we have for you now is something that you can do at home on your own. And I know you're tired of looking at me with my brand new Blackhawks baseball cap on here. Susie is going to tell you about a theater activity that you can do at home with the whole family, and then we're going to give you a little example of how to do it. So Susie, it's all yours.
Hi guys, I hope this is finding you all well. And I hope you enjoy this game that I found. And it's called Story Character Charades. And what it is very much like charades, except for trying to do just pantomime to act it out. You're actually going to be able to talk and act out a character from either a movie or a book or a musical. And I will explain it here. What you're going to need is some paper, pencil. You will need a hat or a box or something to put the papers in when you fill them out, and perhaps a pair of scissors to cut. I have made some samples of what you would have to put on the paper. If you want to get a PDF of this, I will put this on I can send it to your Gmail. If you contact us through, or you can contact us through our Gmail, or you can personal message us on our Pasta Facebook page, and I will try and get you a PDF of this. But what you need, it's hard for me to figure out how to hold it straight. There we go. What you need is to have a label of whether you're going to try and act out a character from a book, or from a musical, or from a movie. So you actually write the name of the book, and I've got one filled out here. For a movie, like if you have the movie Aladdin, you need to list a character. And then the same thing goes for the others. And but you can just do this on a piece of paper too. Then after you fill out a number of pieces of paper or fill out the cards, then you need to dump them into a bowl or a hat or something like that. And you pick them out and you act it out. You can act out you don't have to do the whole movie. You just can pick a scene or a chapter from a book, or just a moment in time that this character is probably very famous for. So if you notice here on there, I wrote beginning, middle, and end. That's just to remind you how to do the game when you're talking. So if you're thinking of a scene that this character's in, you have to do a little bit of the beginning of the scene that the character's in, a little bit about the meat of the story or the middle, and then how this character ends in the scene. So what you have to do is, if you want to do a little bit like charades, you can do a beginning like, you cannot say what book or what movie or what musical they're from. So you could say like this, you say it's a book, it's a movie, or it's a musical, and go from there. You can only talk as your character. You can't add any of the other characters into your scene. You just have to figure out how to do the scene only talking like it is your character, and you can't ask anybody to join in and help you act out your scene. Now, for the people that are watching, they can guess who your character is, but the trick is that you still, even though people are guessing, you still need to finish the scene, and that's what helps you practice your acting. So, Tom has walked away. I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm going to start out, and hopefully he'll be back in time so that he gets a chance to do a character too. Now, usually what you would do is you would stand up when you do this, but for the way we have this worked out right now, we're not going to be able to do that. So you've got a hat. That's what I have as a hat. And I go in and I'm going to reach for a card, and you can have them like folded in half. And then I'm going to open it up and not tell you the character. But, okay, I'm going to start like this. Okay. Tom, if you know the character, you can shout it out since you're my only audience. All right, so it's going to be from a book. Okay, I will not take more than a minute, and your family members can put a timer up, but you need just maybe a little bit of time to think about what you want to do. Okay, I won't take long, I promise. Considering I made the cards, you know, I got a little bit of heads up. All right, so here's my scene. And if you want to do, like we do this in class a lot, when we start a scene, we say scene, and then when we start, and then end scene. Okay, so scene. Hello? Rabbit, are you home? Hello? But isn't that your voice I hear? I think I'm going to go through your hole to see if you're home. Rabbit, you are home. Oh, look. Is that honey over there? Do you mind if I have some? Oh, it's delicious. Oh, could I have some more, please? Thank you. I just could eat all this honey. It's so good. Whew, I think I'm full. Time for me to go. Oh, I think I'm stuck. I know I'm stuck. Oh, bother.
Winnie the Pooh.
Excellent. Okay, Mr. Actor, do you want to try one?
Sure, sure.
Okay, I'll put the hat here for you.
Great. All right. Hi, back again. All right, so I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to pick out one. Ah, all right. Okay, well, I need to get ready for this one. All right, get into character here. So, this is a book, right? Well, hello, little girl. What are you doing walking through the woods all alone? Oh, you're on your way to your granny's house, huh? What's in the basket? Oh, cookies? Can I have a cookie? No? Oh. Yeah, bye. I know where her grandmother lives. I know a shortcut that I can take to get there, and I'll get there before she is, and then I'll shove Granny in the closet, and I'll dress up as Granny, and then I'll steal those cookies all for myself. Who is it?
Can't let you on character.
That's the wolf.
Okay.
Oh, yes, this is Granny. Come on in. Oh, did you bring me something? Did you bring me cookies? How did I know they were cookies? I guessed. So does anybody know who that was? Susie?
The bad wolf.
Yeah, the big bad wolf. With my big bad wolf hat here. So we're just about done here with our first go at this. I think we've done extremely well. No fear. We went at it with no fear. So we'll be back next Thursday same pasta time, same pasta channel, with more information about the classes that we're going to offer, when we're going to offer them, and what we will be doing as far as scripts, the plays that we will be doing with those classes. So thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our little adventure into virtual theater here, virtual children's theater classes. And we will, Susie, anything else you want to say? Nope.
No, just hi to everybody that
Okay.
responded, and thanks.
So, hi, and we miss you all. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay well. All right, do your social distancing, stay at home. All right, and if you're staying at home, what better way to have some fun than doing some children's theater classes with us online, right? So we will see you next Thursday at 5 p.m. on the Gorton Facebook page. Bye-bye.